I just totally. Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101, and today we're going to go over Snowflake because their stock release is coming this week. I've been telling people about Snowflake. I'm telling you, there's some money to be made. I'm very, very excited today. And also a company called Amwell. They used to be called America Well, but I think they just came with the Amwell, and that is what they're pretty much going to stay with. And these are companies, right? These two companies. Now I'm going to focus more on Amwell than I am going to Snowflake because I already did the stock review for Snowflake. So you guys should be very informed about that. But this Amwell stock, listen, I'm choked up about it. I really don't get choked up about any stock because anything can happen in the stock market. But let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, I believe very, very strongly that Amwell is going to do very, very good. I have no doubts about it, okay? Because they have a strong company like Google supporting them. Now, the stock review is going to be more like the stock you're going to see is not a stock that I'm telling you to invest in, even though they're doing phenomenally well. I can't explain it enough. And this is another telehealth. And telehealth is basically when you call up your doctor and they're giving you advice, they're telling you what to take, they're telling you what to do. Sometimes they can get medicine to you in a day using like either the Amazon medical service or Stat Health or all these companies that can pretty much give you medicine in about a day. And they are assessing your medical issues literally over the phone, okay? They're looking at rashes, they're looking at symptoms, they're looking at whether you're having a stroke or on the verge of having a stroke. So they're looking at all these key indicators just over video and also over the phone because we know how it works both ways. So this is very, very phenomenal, especially in the medical space where a patient or rather even a doctor doesn't have to go in at all, and they can assess you by your symptoms simply online. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I know a lot of us are traditional, a lot of us are old school, but this is the future, okay? I keep saying it. We are living in the future. We are living in the future, and we have to totally understand that, okay? We're not going backwards, we're going forwards. And granted, this can actually save a lot of people a lot of money, okay? This can save a lot of people a lot of money, all right? So let's see here who we have here today. We got Nolan Baptiste. Good morning, good sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And I want everyone, hey, Nolan, if you can do me a favor, I'm going to get to the end of my session. I'm going to do some bonus content. You know my bonus content, okay? And I want you to have the Black Post site link ready, okay? The Black Post site link ready if you can for me, Nolan. I would appreciate that. Thank you, sir. All right, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm still setting up a little bit here, so bear with me. But we're going to go over here to Robinhood, and we're going to look at a company that is similar to the one I'm actually looking at. I see it. We got a lot of things going on here. Sorry for that, folks. Still trying to set up here. My apologies. But nonetheless, this is a telehealth group, and this is called Teladoc Health, okay? The ticker for this is TDOC. Tango, Delta, Oscar, Charlie, okay? So we need to understand that these healthcare services, they are innovating their way they go about giving you health aid, the way they're assessing your symptoms, the way they are evaluating what's going on in your life. And this is great because you don't have to leave the comfort of your home. They can do it. They can do it on your phone. They can do it on your computer. They can do it on your tablet. So these are all great ways. Now, granted, you know, you might want to close the blinds if you're up there like, well, doc, I got this rash down here. It's probably my troubles. But anyway, the point I'm making is let's look at this time chart. Now, granted, this IPO stock release is about Amwell, okay? Amwell, the ticker for Amwell will be AMWL, okay, AMWL. But let's look at this. I want to show you these numbers. Now, even though that the analysts are saying a 59% buy, let me blow this up a little bit more. And good morning, Jermaine Anderson. Good morning, sir. So right now they're saying a 59% buy, but look at this. Look at that with the returns of this telehealth, okay? 706%. Now, companies who started in the early 2000s with this telehealth, whoever the CEO, the founder, the innovator, whoever who had the idea, these are the people who are making a lot of money. Because again, if you have a great idea, the first thing I'll tell you to do is first Google everything. Like, is this out there yet? Is this out there? Then go over to U.S. patent to make sure nobody don't have a design patent, a utility patent, or any sort of thing like that. Go over and do your research first. And then let me tell you, you're not the only one having ideas. So you got to be the first one to patent that idea. I'm gonna tell you another way people make a lot of money. You say, well, I'm not a wealthy person. I'm not an affluent person. I don't have a lot of money. But let me tell you, you have enough money to do. If you have a design that of a machine or an invention or improving a process, okay, improving a process, the first thing that you should do is go get a design or utility patent. Because when that company, like if you see a company who, like, take for instance Amazon, right? Amazon, they have these high-speed electronic, state-of-the-art, way into the future conveyor belts. Believe it or not, they got scanners, all this. If you was privy to go and visit one of those warehouses, like, you know what, I can do this better. Right, and you made a design and the technology behind it, and you just did the design. You can actually go get that patent. And when they look into the patent of someone trying to design that very same thing, you like, no, that is my patent. A lot of times people don't do their research. People don't do their research, so you'll be the one with all that money. All right, anyway, let's get into it. All right, again, this is not solely about teledoc health. We know this is up there. This is $200 a share. We know that with Robinhood, you can fraction share, but we're not talking about this. We're talking about a stock that's going to start off like Teladoc Health, and it's going to balloon up. I'm telling you, I've never been so confident. If this doesn't work out, I'm a shred paper. That's, people say some wild things. I'm not going to go crazy, but this stock is going to blow up. You won't really hear me say that too often. I believe this stock is going to blow up. Not this stock, okay? I'm going to get into the stock I'm talking about. We're just doing a comparison. All right, so this is Teladoc. You see the 5 years. Let me lower this down a little bit. Okay, here we go. You see the 5 years, it was at 712%. 1 year, 182%. 3 months, almost 10%. 1 month, almost 1%. Wow, that's not good. But anyway, 3.7%. And then today they are up 3.84%. Now, we're not going to read all of this, but they were founded, again, back in 2002. 2002. So think about doctors sitting at home, video cam, not really that well at that, 18 years ago, but nonetheless, giving you healthcare advice over the phone. So a doctor say, okay, what seems to be the issue? Oh, well, doc, I have a rash. They're like, are you allergic to anything? Do you have eczema? Do you have this? Do you have that? Oh, no, doc. Well, have you been hiking any soon? Would you go into any woods? Well, send me a picture. Back in prior 2000, send me a picture. Take a picture of the rash. Oh, okay, you have poison ivy. What you need to do is I'm going to send you a prescription. Just go to Walgreens, go to CVS, go to Rite Aid, and boom. So doctors was diagnosing people right off the gate. Everything through electronics, even back in 2002, okay? So if someone like had the flu, they didn't want to go in to contract a certain virus. This is the way that doctors and nurses and people in the medical profession was handling their patients. And now, because of COVID-19, doesn't nobody want to go anywhere public, especially a damn hospital or a clinic. You like, I broke my leg. Anyway, is there any concierge doctors coming to houses to fix broken leg? They're like, no, we need you in the surgery room. Can you bring the surgery room to my house, please? Okay. Anyway, so again, I'm just going to read a little bit. I said I wouldn't read it, but I'm going to read a little bit because we're going to get into Amwell as well. Engaging the provision of the telehealth care services using a technology platform via mobile device, the internet, video, and phone. See, there it is. The technology is there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. They're headquartered in New York. They're in healthcare services, New York. They got a 4% sale, 37% hold, 59% buy. Okay. And I'm not going to get into the bull and bears, but I guess I'll read a little bit of the bull, excuse me. Teladoc is one of the most mature competitors within telehealth, leveraging its national scale and nimbleness to take advantage of the blind spot between cost-conscious payers and sluggish providers, okay? And that's another thing. Think about you having an appointment, and some of you have had appointments before, right? You guys have had appointments where you're sitting in the waiting room, you're like, no one's coming. My appointment was at 9 a.m. I'm sitting here to 10 a.m. and it pisses you off. It absolutely pisses you off. Excuse me for a sec. Let me see if this pops in. What's coming? All right. It totally pisses you off because your appointment was at 9 a.m. It's 9:30. Like, hey, I got work to be at today. Or you go into the walk-in clinic, right? You go into the walk-in clinic or walk-in emergency room and you're there for 3 or 4 hours. And you're like, hey, it's really not that serious. I kind of just burnt myself right here. I just need a prescription for some cream or whatever the case may be, whatever your case. But you go walk in emergency room or a clinic and you're there all freaking day. And I tell people, listen, if you're going to the emergency room, okay, if you're doing anything walk-in, take your phone, take some earphones. You're going to be there for a while. And we know that. Now, granted, lately the hospitals and clinics have been cleared out because nobody want to go. And it tells you this. I'm going to tell you what COVID-19, and a lot of people can contest to this. COVID-19 has cleared up a lot of bull crap in the medical profession, right? What I mean is people will go in for absolutely everything, especially when their job is fitting the bill, right? And you should take care of yourself. I'm not saying that. But have you noticed, if you've been lately, and I'm not saying in the cities, not in the cities, but in the burbs or in the rural areas, there's not that many people at the clinic or hospital. I know not here, because people are like, I'm just gonna go to Walgreens, buy me some elderberry, buy me some vitamin C, vitamin D, maybe some zinc, get me a multivitamin, call it a day, and get some filtered water, okay? Because people now are trying to subject themselves to this COVID-19, so it's like, oh, you really wasn't that bad, okay? Anyway, let's get back on task, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get back on task. Here we go. So, all right, earnings. They've been earning pretty good, pretty steady. You can see Q1, they went down. Q2, they're back up, okay? And here are the other people who are somewhat in the same space. Now, the reason why Livagon is here is because they teamed up with Teladoc. I'm just going to call them Tdoc. That is the ticker for this, TDOC. Livagon actually teamed up with this particular company, Teladoc Health. Okay, now let's get into the stock that I'm actually going to encourage. I'm not going to tell anyone to invest their money because if you guys lose money, you're going to blame me and beat me up. I'm just going to say I strongly encourage everybody to actually invest in this particular stock. Give me a second. That's some good coffee my baby made right there. Let me tell you. Coconut. I ain't going to tell you the ingredients. Then you're going to jock my style. But anyway. All right. Amwell seeks to raise $525 million in an IPO of its Classic A stock. The firm provides a telehealth delivery system to healthcare providers in the U.S. Same thing as telehealth, Teladoc Health, whatever it's called. Here's your ticker, AMWL. Has grown rapidly due to COVID-19 pandemic's effects on healthcare providers offering remote patient service, and the industry is slated for the future growth. Let me tell you something. So as you saw the other one that we was over here, Tdoc was almost at $200 per share. was almost at $200 per share. And Amwell is their number one competitor. The number one competitor. Let me tell you what a lot of companies don't like. And I'm going to tell you about the monopoly in my area here with my electric company. Living in this area that I'm living in, okay, there is no competitor to the electricity company. So they can literally charge whatever they want to charge if you want electricity. If you want electricity, unless you got to, doing your generator, of course, you're going to have to modify your house to do that. You got somebody on a bike trying to generate electricity. But nonetheless, they don't have any competitors. So they can charge you what they want. And when you call in and say, hey, how many cents per kilowatt was this? Competition is great for the consumers. Competition, I'm going to say it again. Competition is great for the consumer because now they're competing for who? Customers. Because they're going to come in at a lower price point. And for you investors out there, this is absolutely great because T-Doc already made their money. Now we need to make some money with Amwell. Okay, I'm going to get into it. It's going to go over, say, the $525 million. Now, I know the main thing you guys want to know. We kind of went over why I believe this stock is going to do well. But there's two things on your mind. I'm going to answer those questions for you. One is, Ross, how much is it? How much is it per share? That is your question. Number two, when does this stock release on Robinhood, Webull, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, etc.? Tell me when this stock drops because I want to invest because you're selling it strongly. Also, how much it is it per share? And Nolan, if you can provide that link to the blog post, provide that link in the chat for me. I appreciate that. Okay. Hey, Nolan, take care of M. Brewer for me. But anyway, let's get into it. It says the company technology, Boston, Massachusetts-based Amwell was founded to develop the Amwell platform, a telehealth system that enables a wide variety of healthcare services to be delivered remotely. Okay, again, delivered remotely. We're going to go on their website. We're going to learn a little bit more about the company, but I'm going to answer your two questions. I don't want to bore you. So the company's primary offers include telehealth, telestroke, telepsychiatry, on-demand consultation, scheduled consultations, pre-packed care modules and programs, and EHR integration, okay? And here's some of their platform, their visual platforms where their capabilities are. Care continuum, full spectrum, on-demand telehealth, scheduled follow-up, and subacute provider consults, okay? And you see the tabs up here, one solution, full suite of hardware devices, any-to-any connectivity, highly rated for ease of use. They're just kind of doing their synopsis of what their company integration of technology is, okay? But let's get into it because I know you guys want to know this stuff right here. Yeah. And here's their major competitors that I want you guys to look in. And if you see a ticker beside it, we can go in and we can actually look at some of these stocks, okay? So let's take, for instance, Medtronic, okay? MDT. Let's look at them. Let's see where they're at. Okay, they're over $100 per share. Let's go back. Let's take GE. Now let's see GE Healthcare. That's all under the GN umbrella, so that may be a little low. Let's just look at that. I don't think they're over 100. Okay, I don't think they're over 100. Let's look. Yeah. I wouldn't go with that one, ladies and gentlemen. But let's look at something that simply does telehealth. Let's see CERN. Let's look up CERN really quickly. I'm getting there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get to the price, and I'm going to get to the date. I'm going to get to the price, and I'm going to get to the date. They're almost up to $100. Let's see where they first started off at. Let's see here. Let's see, 5 years. They started off, well, we can't go back that far, but 63, they've been rocking. They dipped, see March, here the other drop. So they're kind of volatile. But nonetheless, they're almost hitting 100. And let's see, Siemens Health Thinners. Let's see here. They're on another stock market. SIEGY. I don't think that's going to pop up. Let's see. SIGY. Oh, they did. Okay. Let's see how much they are. All right, $70. So they're close to $100 as well. So all these people that going public with this telehealth platform, they're close to 100 or well over 100, like T-Doc. T-Doc is $197 right now. Okay. So again, let's go down and I'm gonna give you the information. I'm not gonna, no frills, no thrills. Here it is. Boom. Expected IPO pricing date, September 16, 2020. That's in 2 days. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, Snowflake, the one I gave you the stock review on, is also looking for that same date. Is also looking for that same date. I know. Your next question. Can you invest with it with Robinhood? Let me blow this up for you. Robinhood typically allows our customer to place limit orders to purchase shares of IPOs on their opening day around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll send your order to our execution venue the morning of the IPO. You won't have to worry about paying more than you want because your order won't execute above your limit price. Now, with this stock Amwell, this telehealth stock Amwell, they're projecting that it's going to come out between 14 and 16. Okay. Some people are aiming for 15 right in the middle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be looking around. Hopefully now, just because here it says that it's going to expected IPO pricing date of September 16th, be ready because usually that IPO may be released on Wednesday morning all the way up to the next Wednesday. Usually when they put out a pricing date, it releases within the week. Okay. Okay. So again, this stock is going to be around $14 to $16. Let's look it up really quickly. I thought I had it up, but I canceled the stock price. Here we go. So you guys can see it. Here we go, right here. Telehealth company Amwell looks to raise up to $560 million in IPO amid virtual care boom. As it prepares to go public, telehealth company Amwell prices stock late Tuesday between $14 and $16 per share. So what I'm going to do, just for a limited price order, just in case something happens, it's not going to go over 18. I don't believe it's going to go over 18, but I'm going to put 18 down for my limited price order so I can buy some shares. Now, the number of shares, man, I'm telling you, it's looking at T-Doc, looking at their number one competitor, and looking at the other shares that started off around where they started off at. Even if it gets to $70 and you buy it, think about this. If you buy it at $18, $20, even though they said $16, you buy it at $18, $20, and it rises up to $70 in 4 years. You make $50 per share. So I'm not telling you to put all your eggs in one basket, but if you got $200, $300, drop it. I'm telling you, drop it in the Amwell. I don't see them doing bad. The only one, like I told you before I even showed you, was GE, because GE has everything under that GE umbrella, and GE has been real rocky. Okay, they've been real rocky. Let's look at GE really quickly, and I'm gonna get over to the information about Amwell and Snowflake. Okay, and then I got some bonus content for you guys. I think this would be very, very interesting if you guys would stay to the end. I'm probably about 15 minutes out. Okay. So GE, let's look at GE over the past 5 years. Go ahead, just glance at that for a second. They have been down 75%, okay? So we go back here, GE was up to $24, $25 a share. The past year, come on, Robinhood, there we go, down 35 points. 3 months, down 13 points. Past month, down 7 points. Last week, down 4 points. Last day, they're up. Look, that's today. They must have called somebody like, hey, man, we doing bad. Change it. But GE is a very old company, okay? GE is in everything, okay? I'm going to read this a little bit about GE because some of you may find value in it. Because they have their hand in so many things under the GE brand. So what happens when you do that if something goes wrong, it will bring down your entire stock price because you're under GE. Okay. So if you're not doing phenomenal things across the board, then one little snafu can actually hurt your stock. But let's see what they're in. They're in technology and financial services company. That's what type of company they're in. But they're in power, renewable energy, aviation, healthcare, and capital. Okay. The power segment offers technology, solutions, and services. What else? Gas and steam turbines and generators, renewable energy. What else they got down here? The renewable energy segment provides wind turbine platforms, hardware and software, offshore wind turbine solutions, products and services to hydropower industry. So then they're in aviation. The aviation segment provides jet engines and turboprops for commercial airframes, maintenance, components, repair, and overhaul services. So again, ladies and gentlemen, GE is everywhere, but they're not doing good. They're not doing good. That doesn't mean that they won't do good. Let's see if they got any dividends. They should have some dividends. Okay. 0.67 dividends, which is not going to be a lot off of $6 per share. Okay. Moving right along. Now, this is kind of just remind you guys of Snowflake. Remember, Snowflake is that cloud-based data company. Now, granted, Snowflake is going to do phenomenally well, I believe, too. Okay, they have a lot of people. They have a lot of people in their investment shack. They have a lot of investments. They have a lot of investments in their investment shack. Hey, what's going on, Dread Mike? Hey, Dread, I want you to stay around to the end for my special content because it directly includes you, my brother. It directly includes you. So I'm going to shout out you right now in case I forget. Shout out to Dread Mike for the information and content he provided on some comments, okay? So let me put the cat out the bag on that one. All right, let's move right along, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we already kind of read this information, how much it's going to cost. It says Tuesday between $14 and $16 per share, okay? So let's look out for, again, Amwell and Snowflake. Let's look for them to be released on Wednesday of this week, September 16th, 2020. Now, if they don't release on Wednesday, we need to look a week out. Every morning, we need to be looking out because we need to invest in this particular stock. I'm not saying you should, because if you lose money, you're like, that, God damn it, financial literacy 101. But I'm going to invest 100% because the numbers are there. The financials are there. The competition is there. The space is there. Again, Amwell number one competitor is TDOC, and TDOC number one competitor is Amwell. And we saw TDOC. Now, again, there's a lot of financials on this company, man, that I'm telling you, it's going to do well. But let me give you this bit of information. Let me blow it up so you can see it as well. If Amwell hits its target, it would be one of the largest IPOs for a virtual care company. In July 2019, Livergo raised $355 million upsized IPO, while One Medical, a tech-enabled primary care company, brought in $245 million in its public offering. Okay, healthcare analytics company Change Healthcare raised $640 million in its IPO last year, and Go Health, a Medicare-focused health insurance marketplace, nabbed a blockbuster of $940 million offer in July. Well, let me tell you this. They getting my money. They are getting my money because I believe they're going to make me money. Because anybody know my old slogan, my money makes money. All dig a long day, okay? Amwell, which launched in 2006, works with 55 health plans that support over 36,000 employers and collectively represents more than 80 million covered lives, as well as 150 of the nation's largest healthcare systems, encompassing more than 2,000 hospitals, according to its S-1 filing. Pretty big. They're pretty big. That's what they're trying to say. Man, that's so good. Baby did a great job. Anyway, today, Amwell says it has powered over 5.6 million telehealth visits for its clients, including more than 2.9 million just in the first half. This stock, I'm telling you, is going to do phenomenally well. Let's go over to their website, okay? These are some of their health systems. The reason why I'm going detailing this, because this is an IPO, This is something that none of you guys are probably too familiar with, okay? But again, like I told you, I'm very excited. And here's another thing, guys. This is a great investment, I believe, when it releases, but this may be a great service for you, okay? This may be a great service for you, okay? So you should look into that as well. Let's look into the company. Where did I go earlier? I tell you. For patients, for providers, the company, about us. Let's look into this. All right. 80 million members, 50 plus healthcare plans, 2,000 plus hospital, 40,000 client providers. Okay. Connectivity, integration, engagement, clinical support, blah, blah, blah. They got all the bells and whistles, basically. Okay. So if you guys are familiar with TDoc, then this is their number one competitor who's doing absolutely doing well, okay, in their products. Urgent care, scheduled visits, acute behavioral health, telestroke, pediatrics, behavioral health, okay? And believe me, we all need some behavioral health now and again. Don't be afraid to go get help when it comes to mental illness or mental depression or anything, because I've taken therapy myself because we absolutely need it, okay? All right, Snowflake. Now, this company is a beast. They're a cloud-based company. Oh, I forgot one thing. And this is going to help you probably push you right over the top for you guys to invest. I'm going to tell you why. Google invests $100 million, not into Amwell. Amwell. All right. Google Cloud investing. $100 million into Amwell, formerly known as American Well, is a concurrent private placement with its IPO. Amwell is one of the largest telehealth providers. The news comes after its largest competitor, Teladoc, which is TDoc, merged with Livagon, another public company in the space, for $18.5 billion. So those two companies that I showed you combined. So Google is behind these guys releasing. Now they're going to be using Google's cloud, okay? And what that means is with all this information of medical records, using video, using any sort of media device for the doctor can give you help and to evaluate your symptoms. Google is backing that technology. Now, I'm a big Google person. I love Google as far as their products are concerned. I mean, I have a Pixel 4. I have the new Pixel wireless buds. We're on YouTube. YouTube is Google owns YouTube. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. They are backed by one of the largest conglomerate and tech companies in the space today. Okay, one of the biggest techs today, spaces today. But anyway, I just want to make sure I showed you that's very important, because a lot of you are like, oh wait, hold up, Google supporting them? Okay, this is big. This is big, and it is, So Snowflake, and I had the story right here. I had it right here. Look, I had the story right here. I already had my notes set up, but look at me. But anyway, let's see. I'm gonna read some because I'm more concerned about Amwell, because I already did the stock review on Snowflake. Okay, so that's why I'm leaning heavy to Amwell, because this is something new for us. It hasn't released yet. I already did the IPO release stock for Snowflake. I'm just going to mention Snowflake every now and again, but this is really about Amwell, because I believe there's a lot of money in this. As part of the partnership, Amwell will move parts of its business from Amazon Web Services, which it currently uses, to Google Cloud. Specifically, Amwell is selecting Google Cloud as its preferred global cloud partner and moving some video performance capabilities, I told you, to that platform, the company said in a press release. The two companies will also cooperate on technology and build out a dedicated sales effort to expand Amwell's footprint in the sector. So not only is Google and Amazon part of Amwell, but as you said, they're going to map out and build out platforms and talking about it says right here, the two companies, they're talking about Amazon and Google, okay? The two companies will cooperate on technology, okay, on technology. So they're going to have AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Google Cloud. So two of the largest tech companies. If you guys don't know that Amazon's a tech company, newsflash, Amazon is a tech company, not an e-commerce business only. Okay, you guys need to go back to the early 80s, mid 80s, late 80s, when they interviewed Jeff Bezos and say, hey, you guys are a book company that sells books online. He said, no, we're a tech company that sells books on our website. So understand that. He always said they was a tech company. So anyway, you have two of the largest tech companies, okay? And it says here, they're gonna use their technology and build out a dedicated sales effort to expand their footprint. What is that telling you, ladies and gentlemen? What that is telling you is marketing and advertisement. Amazon is going to do that. Now, Amazon is absolutely everywhere. And Amazon, like Google, had these ad companies, just like Google AdSense, okay, Google AdSense. They're going to be running ads, whether it be on YouTube, on Amazon webpage. So people are going to be very familiar with the Amwell name. And I'm telling you, just like I told you on Neo, a lot of you made a lot of money with me off of Neo. So listen to me and listen to me good. There's going to be money to be made in this space. It's going to be money that's going to be made in this space. And I don't want you guys to miss out on this. Okay. Good morning, Ashley Hawkins. Good morning, Ashley Hawkins. Now, let's get into my bonus content. Let me get into my bonus content. Now, every now and again, like I tell you guys, I use the term a wild hair because we understand this is a financial channel, but every now and again, I do talk about race. I do talk about how race, the economy. I talk about reparations. I talk about white supremacy every now and again on this channel, okay? Every now and again on this channel, I want people to be aware, and I know you guys come here for financial information, okay? But every now and again, I think some things need to be shown, heard, and said, okay? Regardless of the platform, because we need to understand that your economic power, but your wealth position and the wealth gap between non-blacks and black people is very large, okay? And Hispanics as well. So blacks and Hispanics versus everyone else has the largest wealth gap in America. And a lot of people don't believe that has to do with race at all, okay? So my Cardi B interview synopsis, have you seen that Cardi B Joe Biden interview? And also, have you seen that Charlemagne the God Biden interview? Has gotten a lot of people to comment off of it. Okay, they have a lot of people to comment off of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply show you some of these comments and show you people responding to it. Not me, I responded because I kind of get tired to teach people the atrocities, some of the struggles and laws and policies that black people have gone through. I'm like, listen, if you're only going to tailor your argument to one side, then you're not even bipartisan in the way that you think. You don't even have intelligent thought, right? You just want to race bait. You just want to point people out like, oh, let me not get into it. I'm gonna get hyped. Good morning, Mac Peoples. Hey, Mac, I saw your email. Okay, I think it was an email comment about you joining Webull. Okay, yeah, you're gonna get that stock according to Webull, not me. According to Webull, when that $100 deposit. All right, let's get into it. Let me get into it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me make this bigger. Now, I'm going to show you, not all my comments, okay? Can't show you all my comments. But I'm going to show you enough so you understand what's going on. Now, you see that this comment here is from the, have you seen the Charlemagne the God Biden interview? And you guys want to look at that interview. Just look for that particular name in the Financial Literacy 101. Also, guys, there's an alternate channel that there's a lot of information about Black topics that's according to Black people and also some minorities as well. So if you're either Black or a minority, you might want to go over to the Black post. Nolan, if you can put that website link in the chat for us throughout this cast, throughout this portion of my cast, that'll be great. I appreciate that, Nolan. All right, so let's get into them. Decrease this a little bit so I can read it better. Okay. This is from someone on YouTube responding to my video. It says, Financial Literacy 101. You very well know, being a financial teacher guy, that every hardworking human has the right to demand what is theirs. This listen to the language, family. Nothing is free, but hard, honest work will get you ahead in life. No race is oppressed. No race is oppressed. Not you who drives a glass roof car on your way to coach your son's baseball, he meant to say football, in the suburbs, and not me who at one point was a housekeeper to a Black woman living in a $500,000 home. Okay, let me stop there. Let me just comment on this real quick. So America and this white supremacy economy of ours allowed a couple of Black people to squeeze past. And with my platform, I use my platform to teach others how I got where I am and to give them information. What this person doesn't understand is I was lucky enough to have 2 feet and run a football very fast to get a scholarship and go to a college to get an education. There's a lot of systemic issues in the hood that could have diverted my path, meaning I've been pulled over by the police. I have been targeted and I have been racially profiled. Any of those things could have went absolutely wrong because of my color in the neighborhood that I come from in Southeast DC. Okay, I will go past. There's some things in my past that I'm not proud of that I've done that could have landed me in jail. Why did I do those things? Because I tell the story of me and my mom being homeless on the street. Okay, being homeless on the street because she had to drop out of school because our grandmother died. Because guess what? It was very hard to get any adequate education or certifications in order to make it a way in life. See, what people like to do, family, they like to look at where you are now and not what you have to go through. And this is the basis of, are there white, Asian, Indian people that have struggled through turmoil? Yes, but they have had an upper hand because of their privilege. And people are like, okay, what is their privilege? Their privilege is their color. It is their race, okay? When you come into this world, you're already at 2 strikes. Okay? So granted, and unfortunately, some of our parents, even before we could say a word, used our name on credit. Whether it be for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, your credit is probably already tore up before you can use your bad credit or no credit in order to get a loan to buy anything, to invest in a business or anything. Now, I can go on and on and on and on and on. I can. But it's not going to educate this person because they're leaning one way. So he talks about my car, which is 5 years old. It's not like it's a Bentley or anything like that. Let me tell y'all something. My car is a Hyundai Genesis. So I'm in a poor man, rich man's car. That's what he wants to believe. Or you got a glass roof top. Okay. Anyway, and I live in the suburbs. Now, what he doesn't also understand is while I was in the military, I was still doing financial literacy. So I have multiple streams of income, what I teach you guys all the time, but I was working my butt off. And what he's saying with hard work, that's essentially true. But when you have a system that oppresses one race because of their skin color, don't you believe it was harder for me to get in certain doors than it was for a white or Asian counterpart, this is what he doesn't understand. Okay. Now, granted, when people are oppressed, that doesn't mean that the entire race won't make it. That means they're going to let a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand people make it. So it has the appearance that is not white supremacy or race being oppressed. That's what he doesn't understand. Okay. I've had mentors in my life that has helped me out. I always say this name, Derek Goddard, who was a former Tampa Bay football player. I lived in the hood in Southeast, also in the group home, which he mentored me out of that mindset. But he can't mentor an entire city. He can't mentor an entire community. He can't do these things by himself. The problem is that the system has incarcerated so many black males that there's not enough mentors to mentor the black youth in these neighborhoods. Again, I digress. I can go on and on and on and on. I'm going to read the rest of his comment. He said, so this is the only self-oppression. And when I see whites, blacks, and Hispanics in PJs at the gas station at 1 p.m., I'm reminded you get what you give. Now he talks about Dr. Ben Carson. Okay, listen, ladies and gentlemen. There's 40 million black people in America. Yes, there's a portion of them that are doctors. There's a portion of them that are successful. But the mass majority of black people live below the poverty line. They live below the American standard of living. When I go to other countries like Japan, Korea, and you look at their living standard, you won't be able to make it. Our living standard in America is a lot higher than a lot of countries. We have more space. So our areas, even our apartments, are way larger than those apartments in other countries. Okay, we have the ability and the room and the land space to grow wide. A lot of those countries can only grow up. So that's why you'll see a lot of high rises in Korea and Japan. They may have nice apartments, but they're living on top of each other. Okay, now granted, if you live in New York, places in DC, major cities, we're living like that too. But if you have the capital, you can move out to a rural or suburban area and get a lot of land. Okay, they don't even have that option. They're paying $3,000 to $4,000 for a nice apartment, but in a high rise like they would in New York. Okay, but in this country, black people, okay, African American people, people of African ancestry are living below the poverty line. Majority of them are African American. So he talks about Dr. Ben Carson. Let me tell you something. Now, I don't like to use racial epithet on my cast. But Dr. Ben Carson is a Sambo, and we know this. When he talked about slavery on national television, he called slaves, people that look like you and I, some of you, he said, when the laborers came over on the ship. Wait a minute, when the laborers? You mean when the enslaved Africans came? Would you think they was on a love boat? No, you think they was on the Santa Maria, the Pinta? Like, ladies and gentlemen, he thought they were laborers. He thought they was an indentured servant. So he's going to use a Sambo, aka Coon, to better point out his argument. No, they wasn't on the love boat. Something exciting and brand new. I don't know the words anymore. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So he's used somebody like that. Use somebody else, bruh. Use somebody else. Talking about black men in the White House. He's the only black man in the White House. Oh my gosh. He said no shout out to him. No shout out to him. Shout out to Ben Carson the Coon. Okay. Listen to Officer Tatum on YouTube, a black ex-police officer who breaks down why Jacob, Breonna, and George were not angels and not innocent victims. Family, this is the great deflection again. This is what race baiters do. So basically what he is saying is that Jacob, Breonna, and George wasn't perfect citizen. Raise your hand in the chat if you are a perfect citizen. Raise your hand if you've never stolen anything. Raise your hand if you never broke the speed limit. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you never vandalized anything. Okay? Because what it says in the Bible, and I don't usually cite Bible verses, but it says basically, you without sin cast the first stone. You without sin cast the first stone. So you telling me that George Floyd, he did drugs, whatever. He should be killed by the police because he did drugs. Are you serious? Breonna Taylor was married to an ex-drug dealer, so she should be killed because of her relationship choice. Now, granted, again, I'm giving this a little bit of attention, family, because this is how people race bait, and they like to use people's character to justify police killings. Police killings. Police killings. So you're telling me that Jacob should have been killed paralyzed in front of his kids because he didn't want to give police a police report of the fight that he broke up. Of the fight that he broke, he should have been killed. Now he's paralyzed, but he should have been killed. And the other two killings are justified. This is the stupidity and racist comments that people make. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, whether you are black or non-black, whether you are a racist or non-racist, this is what you do. This is what people say, and this is what they believe. They like to essentially poke around the issue, and then they use people who have been killed by the police as an example of they wasn't perfect citizens. There's no one in this country who's a perfect citizen. There's no one in this country a perfect citizen. I'm going to tell you why. I said about the whole speeding thing. Raise your hand if you never jaywalk. If you never jaywalk, meaning even in your neighborhood, you went to the corner to cross the street every single time to get just across the street to the other house. This is what I'm talking about. This is the stupidity. This is the stupidity that I'm talking about, family. But I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on. Okay. And I told him, watch my video today, sir. I will respond. And I have. Because that is stupid. See, what I want him to do is what Dread Mike has done for me already. And I'm going to point that out. Then he says this. Don't forget, Biden's daughter even came out on an interview saying she was a big fan. Girl, bye. You don't even know Cardi's legal name. So he's using language like that, or he is using language like that. I wonder if they are a foundational Black America or one of these Sambo immigrants that come over here. And granted, a lot of these Sambo immigrants, a lot of these terror parasites that come over here, they want to be like White Zaddy. What they do is they come over here, they learn our language, they learn our lingo, they're trying to learn our swag, and then they mimic us. And then when the tide turns, they didn't want to be a parasite and take on the host, which is the white supremacists in this country. Now, granted, not every person from the Caribbean, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and Africa, I'm not calling those guys Sambo. There's some ride or die people for Black people, regardless of where they're from. Whether in the UK, Australia, don't matter what Black people are, they're ride or die for Black people. Well, there's a lot of people who are not foundational Black Americans who come over here and they're instant Sambos. They are instant white supremacists because they support their narrative and don't join the fight that we're going to. Now, granted, the first couple of years, they keep their head low, but then as they get their citizenship, now they want to put their head out the turtle shell. Now they want to poke their head out the turtle shell. So I don't know this person's nationality. I don't know this person's race. But you can just tell some of the language is like, man, miss me with that. Okay? Let's move on. I got some more information here. See, Sosa put out some good information. I always say that LOL people love to talk about how racist Trump is, which he is, but they always fail to admit Biden's racism. I'm voting for the person I'm voting for, not because I like him, but simply because I'm not the other person. Okay. Then he talks about This is also the very reason why I'm neither a Democrat nor Republican. Both parties are extremely hypocritical, racist, and corrupt. I agree, Sosa, if you're listening. Great point. Let's move on. Okay. Now, before I read Mike's, I got to read this. Before I read Mike's, I got to read this. Mike says the P way, if you're sole president, leave the country that's mostly black. Okay. Where is the information at? Let's see. Okay. This is what P-Way says to Mike. He said, Mike, thanks for assuming my race. Keep complaining all you want. Racism doesn't exist. You had a black president, worst ever for 8 years. What did he do for y'all? This is what I'm talking about. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I gave him. I gave him this link. Let me see if I can put this in the chat. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can put this in the chat. Put this in the chat for you guys. I think that's the link. But anyway, I told him, I said, thank you. I simply don't have the time or mental stamina to entertain someone who's not willing to do their own research except to speak to their talking points rather than both views. See, the reason why I'm giving this attention, because this was a great conversation. This was great information that Mike gave out. And I'm just putting things into context with a little bit of deconstruction of the racial thought that I actually went through when I was reading this, because this is stupid. And I said, subscribe to the channel, Mike, good info. Anyway, that wasn't to Mike, that was to another Mike. All right. So let's get into what Mike talked about. Let's see if I can pop this up. All right. All right. So Mike is responding to this guy. He's talking to P-Way. He said, even in Africa, they are oppressed by the Europeans and Asians over there too. Mostly black countries are controlled by white people too. I leave when you tell the Europeans and Asians to leave black countries. I can't leave by U.S. law because in order for me to leave, I have my civil rights to leave here in Florida. I have a violent or sex charge on your record. You can't get your civil rights. I got violence on my record. And that's Florida law by your Republican senator you voted for by the name of Rick Scott. We all know him. Former governor of Florida made the law, by the way. Tell Ron DeSantis and your president to give me a full pardon so I can leave. So Mike, like I'm trying to leave. Because here's what they do, family. This how they entrap black people in America. When you have certain things on your record, even though that you served your time, you can't get a passport. You can't get a passport. You're going to have to leave here at one of the ports in one of those metal meal vans with a water bottle and a bucket trying to make it over to China so you can jump there from another country. Well, let's get into some real good information that Mike put out. I just want to give a round of applause for Mike for doing this for me. Thank you, sir. I didn't have the mental mind frame. Where is it at? Where is it at? I think it's right here. Yeah, there it is. Now I'm gonna just decrease this a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, so I can read this a little bit better. Okay, so I can read this a little bit better. So this is Mike responding in P-Way, all his, his racial appetites, all his white supremacy support. I don't care what color the brother is or the man is. I don't care. Okay, when you support white supremacy and race soldiers, you get no play. Here's Mike. Thank you, Mike. Again, I can't thank you enough for this. He says, I agree with Dr. Boyce Watkins. Me too. Black people can't be racist. Because I told P-Way that black people can't be racist. Black people can't be racist because history proves that we can't. Racism is a political and social system. Black people don't have that kind of power. And we know we don't. Okay? 80% of the politicians are middle-aged whites. 85% are special agents in the FBI and CIA are white. 65 to 75% are law enforcement on the state level are white. White people control everything from big corporations to the school system. Our ancestors were slaves who built this country. I'll put that in there. Who built this country, got rich off the backs of blacks. I love that saying. I believe the person I love who says that is Dr. Claude Anderson, that they got rich off the backs of blacks. People like Clinton, Biden, Sanders made a crime bill that causes mass incarceration of black males. Out here, black males are the minority, but I am jailed and in prison. They are the majority. See, black males are the minority, but in jail, we are the majority. Something is very wrong with this picture. And somebody stupid will say, that's because they're doing all the crime. Nah, bruh. You got to do your history. You got to do your research in history. And we're going to get a little history lesson here from Mike, which I absolutely love. The loophole in the 13th Amendment is another way to give them a reason to lock up black males at alarming rates. What he's talking about is that slavery is still legal in America in the 13th Amendment if you lock up somebody, if you incarcerate somebody, because it says slavery is abolished in America except when you go to prison. It says in the Constitution, read it for yourself. 13 years old, tried as an adult and convicted to go to an adult prison, 13 years of age. Let's not forget the black codes made by white people. How about Freeman Bank that took black people's money back in the 1800s and never got their money, which why some black people don't trust banks. That is true. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, Seneca Village in New York, Rosewood, Florida, to name a few incidents where all racist white people took and destroyed everything my people built, but mad when my people loot and destroy white businesses and properties, the same shit racist white people did to black people's businesses. This is all 100% accurate, family. And in closing, police brutality, police violence, police murder, been going on for years. Don't you dare bring up black on black crime. Gangs like the Crips, Bloods, Folk Nation, People Nation, the Black Mafia, with some other people, the Aces, form causes of police brutality and racism. They killed and locked up the leaders without funds. They turned to crime. Racism created groups like the Black Panther Party, Nation of Islam, the Nation of Yahweh, New Black Panther Party, Black Lives Matter, and NFAC. I think that's not fucking around coalition. I think that's what that means. So white people take a seat and take that L because black people can't be racist by history, political, laws, wealth, and economics. Mike, bro, you threw it out the park. Now, if you are Caucasian, European descendant, whatever, if you're white on this channel, he is not talking to all white people. He is talking to white people who need to be educated. He's talking to white people who are racist. He is talking to race soldiers. He's talking to white domestic terrorists. He is talking to white supremacy. But if you know what's going on in this country as a non-black person, then this does not pertain to you because you probably did a little bit of your homework. This requires homework. This requires research. This requires reading. And most importantly, this requires understanding and for your ass to be woke. Because a lot of black people, what I just read, didn't even know all of this. So for you who did not know this, this is our history in this country. Once again, I thank you, Mike. Can't thank you enough. Now, I'm going to show you a channel that I support heavily that I absolutely love. Okay, let me take it off real quick. Can't show you all my goodies. I'm going to show you this channel. The channel is fairly new, but I believe that you guys will get some good information from this. I believe that you guys will get some good information for this. So I'm going to tell you guys to go over and please support this channel and subscribe, okay? Here's right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's called the Black Post, okay? The Black Post. This is how it looks. Right now, the channel has out 5 videos. So go over here. The Black Post is a black fist with 2 envelopes, one white and one black. And go give this channel some support, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying with me for that bonus content. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. And I thank everyone who's contributed to this channel. Nolan Baptiste, thank you, kind sir. And thank you also to Mike. You guys have a great and wonderful day. I am out.